This is Diamond.
Hey, what's up? It's Chase McCabe. Been talking about PhD weight loss for a while now. Dr. Ashley Lucas, it is the program that she has created. And the best part is they'll create that program specifically for you because you know what? We are all different. My program and your program are going to be different things. I am enjoying it. The food, 85% of it is provided for you if you choose to use it at no additional cost. Or your coach can teach you how to use your own food and still work with the program. I mentioned a coach that you have those weekly one-on-one sessions with your coach. See how you're doing. They can adjust things as you go because your body's going to change. And then when you get to your goal weight, they're going to teach you how to keep it. I mentioned that goal weight. If you don't get within 5 pounds of your target weight by the end of your program, PhD will continue to coach you for free until you do. That is their offer guarantee. So why would you not check this out? Go to myphdweightloss.com. That's myphdweightloss.com.
Hey, are you seeking relief? Maybe you just want to enhance your day or night. Did you know there are legal THC products available right here in Tennessee? Yeah, really. You can have legal THC products shipped directly to the comfort of your home. Yes, comfort in cannabis is only a website away. Visit greentreescompany.com. That's Green Trees with a Z, and change your life today.
When it comes to Chase McCabe,
The Nashville Predators, the Titans, the NBA, college football, talk a little racing.
you get a little bit of everything.
But hey, you know what? We're getting it done.
Join Chase McCabe weekday mornings at 9 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. You're listening to Stillman and Company on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Kevin, what's the benefit of the secondary going up against Justin Jefferson? Kind of iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, he's one of the best, if not the best receiver in the league. So anytime, Christian Fulton and Sean Murphy Bunting and Roger and all those guys to go up against a competitor like him, it gives you confidence because you feel like, if I can cover this guy, if I made a good play on him, I can do it against anybody. So it's important. It's very key to be able to go up against, top-notch talent like that.
There you go. That was Kevin Byard saying, hey, it's great to go up against a top-notch talent like Justin Jefferson. So, TD, I watched him yesterday, and I thought the Titans' defense, for the most part, dominated the Vikings' offense. You watched defense today. I watched the Titans' offense, and I said I thought it was probably, 55-45 Titans. But you could make an argument to me that it's 55-45 Vikings defense today. What did you see out of the Titans defense?
Yeah, I think it was probably 65-70-30 Titans defense. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. So I would say this, and I was so happy to get to watch the defense today. If you remember, you asked me yesterday, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll watch the defense. Mm-hmm. I said, well, I'll just watch. Oh, it's cool. I wanted to watch Justin Jefferson. The release package that he has available to him it's ridiculous. And I watched him, just the way he runs these routes, how smooth he is and everything like that. He had 3 touchdowns today. He scored 3 times. One of them was against zone. The other one was against zone, and he was in the slot, and he ran the seam route, and he was able to just get inside where Byard's area was and tight window throw, touchdown. Other than that, Christian Fulton, clamps. There was one where he ran a route where in the release, and Fulton was patient, ran with him, and he did one of those routes where you break out and then you pivot and come back in. Fulton was on top of that the whole time and knocked it down. Another time, Jefferson tried to run a slant. Fulton was right over top of that. Kirk Cousins had to go elsewhere. So out there you had that. It was impossible to run the ball, though. Jeffrey Simmons, there was one where he got into, actually the play in which Tierra Tart got booted. He got into the backfield, and he blew up Madison. Like, it was a true tackle for a loss. And he just hit him. He thumped him, but, it was enough to make Madison travel a little bit. Mm-hmm. And Garrett Bradbury and Tierra Tart got tangled up to the ground, and Tart got up and pushed him, and Bradbury pushed him back, and Tart swung on him. But once Tart went out, they started using Danico Autry a little bit more, and Autry had a bull rush on Christian Darrisaw, pushed him right back into the quarterback. Arden Key had one. Harold Landry had a sack coming off the edge. Like, there were times where the play just had to be – they were just like, all right, blow the whistle, stop the play. It's dead. And I think when you look at the defense and what they're able to do, 0 ground was gained, running the ball. Azeez Al-Shire starting to remind me of David Long.
I think he's a really, really good player.
Really good player. And the reason why he reminds me of David Long is the way that he's able to trigger. It's just something about some of those guys that trigger, and they're in the backfield instantly. And that's what he does, diagnose and triggers. And I asked him, and I may end up doing a story about this because, when you get a guy like that, right, that triggers so well, you play action against him. And, I asked him about balancing that, and that's something that, I may do a bigger story on. But nevertheless, the defense looked good. Sean Murphy bunting, had a couple pass breakouts. And I will say this, I don't remember you mentioning Mike Brown from the defense yesterday, but, yeah, that second 7-on-7 period, that secondary, nothing.
Against Nick Mullins?
Against Nick Mullins, nothing. Nothing that whole period. No time. We talking about low red zone, inside the 20-yard line. Nothing. They didn't give up a single touchdown. That group, Mike Brown Mike Brown's going to be on this roster. That's one that I left off that I should have put on. He's earned a spot. And Shyheim Carter played well today too. So you look at this whole group, I think they're in really good shape, and the defense definitely stood out to me.
So I said this earlier today. I asked Cousins about the defense, and he said, yeah, they're really good. They were number 1 in the league in defense or in run defense for a reason. And I said, what he's telling us when he says that is their defensive line's really good. And I think that's the thing that maybe gets underrated. Patrick Mahomes said it in the Netflix documentary that their defensive line is underrated.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now they're like right at the perfect point because while Autry is probably on the down part of his career, on the back 9, Simmons has probably just reached the peak age.
Yeah.
And so between that and the fact that Landry's still in his prime and Key's in his prime and Tart is entering his prime, like Weaver's now in his 3rd year in the league. Like they're able to bring a lot of these guys in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, Simmons, I said the difference between Simmons and Chris Jones is that Chris Jones is a 10-sack guy. Last year, I think he was a 14-sack guy or something crazy like that. And Simmons hasn't gotten the 10 sacks yet. But I do think that if Simmons hadn't gotten hurt last year,
he'd have gotten the 10 sacks.
He probably would have easily gotten the 10
He's
sacks.
going to set a career high.
And that's where, I'm like, okay, now that he's not hurt, he may pop into that category of winning games by himself, which is Aaron Donald territory.
Look at the Rams game a couple of years ago.
Oh, he went out. To me, he was the best player on the field that day.
I mean, look at the Bengals game in the playoffs. He had, 2 sacks, but there were 2 sacks that were taken away for unrelated penalties. You know what I mean? This dude, he brings it, man. I think he is right there with the Chris Jones, with the, there's a degree of separation from Donald, but, Quentin Williams, like those guys are all right there, man.
Did you know Quentin Williams had 12 sacks last year?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I knew that because I was keeping track of Williams.
The contracts?
Dexter Lawrence and Simmons for the contracts, yeah.
Let's go to Timothy, who's up next here on the program, live out at Titans-Vikings joint practice. Thank you for calling. What's up, Timothy? Timothy.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Hi, yes, I was just calling to see, love the content, by the way, tighten up. I was just calling to see if there was any updates on the Will Levis leaving practice early today.
Okay. Thank you for your call. Will Levis updates so far. Anything other than just lower body injury?
No, that's it. That's the latest news that is available. And we probably won't find anything out until later today or tomorrow, honestly.
I mean, none of us actually saw him leave the field. Then again, nobody saw Molden leave the field except for me, and I only saw him leave the field because I saw him walking with the doctor, and then as I was headed out, he was headed out with no pads on, and somebody, I don't know who, said, Elijah, I'll be there in a second, and Molden started walking down the steps, and while he walked down the steps, I walked around to get right up here to the press box. And so I was like, well, if he's not got his pads on at this point,
he's done.
He's probably done for the day.
He wasn't in for that the team period, the 1 minute period that they did to end practice.
Is it wrong to say that I don't see any way that Levis's injury is serious?
I don't think it's – I wouldn't say I don't see any way, because you always have to leave a chance for that crazy situation.
Like it's a bone in his foot and they x-ray it, and then they're like, oh, my God, this has been broken for 3 months.
Right. So you never know, but I would say it's unlikely because of, like you said, the path. I may take a video. That's what we should do, take a video so fans could see how far these guys got to travel. I followed Derrick Henry over to where he started signing today, and yeah, it's a little bit of a hike.
I'll say this, all those Viking fans, and I get it, they want to, get their autographs from their team, but all those Viking fans that lined up over here to be able to go out there and get the signatures from you got a better chance if you're a Viking fan to walk down to this field, which is, by the way, a freaking stellar high school football field. But they had it all like games and stuff were on the field, and then they have like a little fence that was erected in which the Titans would like walk out to the practice field. There's an easier way just to go to that fence, because Vrabel was signing autographs and taking pictures, and I saw Henry was out there signing autographs and taking pictures, and you had a better chance to get Derrick Henry than you did to get some, guy on the Vikings that might not be a star.
Yeah. I thought Vrabel was really good with us today also. Very forthcoming with information and answering the questions.
Basically saying that all the prayers have been answered about Burks.
Yeah, because I asked him, because I'm sitting there like, nobody asked about Burks, man. So I said, all right, I'll be this so-called sacrificial lamb, and he was real cool about it.
Well, the thing about the Burks injury that I think was good that you asked the question like he said was, I didn't know, I just knew that he wasn't out for the year after what they reported yesterday, but I didn't know that he wasn't, Vrabel made it sound like he's not even a question for the New Orleans game.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the case. That's a good conclusion that you could draw. And he said best case scenario for this situation. So that's something to look at. And the report was 3 to 4 weeks. It's one of the things that he said was like no structural damage. That's a big part of it. And so when you don't have the structural damage, you could rehab it quicker, and that's he said that he's going to rehab and work his way back.
615-737-1025. We'll get back into your phone, 615-737-1025. Tannehill and Cousins did say two different things that I think kind of allude to the same thing. We'll get TD's thoughts on that, and we'll do that coming up next. Hey, Silly Underdog picks are back. That's right. Sign up at theGameNashville.com or the 102.5 The Game app. Silly Underdog picks is presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket.
It's going down. They fight.
Jared, you're
How do you know, Joe? How do you know?
And fight.
And because of that,
how do you know that, though? How do you know that?
But that's okay. It's Jared and Joe. Every Wednesday at 5 p.m., Jared Stillman and Joe Rexroad debate the big topics in sports. Jared versus Joe. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors and Parman Tractor and Equipment on Stillman and Company. Wednesdays at 5 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
It's time to celebrate this fall and unleash the beast. Monster Brewing proudly presents to you Beast Unleashed. 0 caffeine, 0 sugar, all the adult beverage fun. The Beast is unleashed with great taste, bold familiar flavors, and 6% alcohol. Go wild with Mean Green, White Haze, Peach Perfect, and Scary Berries. Don't fear the Beast. Enjoy Beast Unleashed at your next tailgate or football party. Drink responsibly. Must be 21 and over.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
In any work environment, culture is the most important thing. And what makes up the culture? The people. Hey, this is General Manager Sean Ford with Cromwell Media. This month, we want to highlight 2 individuals on our team celebrating their anniversary. First, Max Hers is celebrating over 5 years with us on 1025 The Game. And our president and owner, Bud Walters, is celebrating his 51st year with Cromwell Media. Thanks to you for the community you've built here. If you're looking for a new career, reach out to us at together@cromwellmedia.com. Love what you do, love where you work.
Now, your Game Center update.
The Tennessee Titans were back on the field in Minnesota for day 2 of joint practices versus the Vikings. The news yesterday involved wide receiver Treylon Burks leaving practice early with an injury. Titans head coach Mike Vrabel gave an update on Burks after practice today.
No, I mean, I don't think it's going to be a long-term thing. There's no structural damage, and anticipating him, being back. Again, I'm not putting a timeline on it, but I think that it was a best-case scenario.
As we pretty much expected, the Houston Texans named rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud the starter for the second preseason game. Lions wide receiver Jamison Williams will likely miss the rest of the preseason with a hamstring injury. And it's Throwback Thursday at First Horizon Park tonight as the Nashville Sounds host Charlotte, the AAA affiliate of the Chicago White Sox. First pitch is set for 6:35 on your home of the Sounds, 94.9 The Fan. From the Game Nashville studios, this is Ian Safar.
Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers. 102.5 and 106.3.
And a score!
You can run different offenses.
The doors on the board.
Off the field, on the field.
The Game.
The Cromwell Media Station.
Where you have a voice.
He had a competent coaching staff. You just play terrible and you keep playing.
And we have strong opinions.
What a whiny freaking crybaby response.
This is Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to Superbook Sports, live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios here at Titans-Vikings practice, where the Titans defense, I think 2 days in a row, dominated might be too strong, but dominated the Minnesota Vikings offense, the former 7th-ranked offense last year in the NFL, which is good news. Mike Vrabel said best-case scenario on the Treylon Burks front, which, again, is also really good news. TD is here with us. So I feel incredibly confident about the Titans coming out of joint practices. I wanted to know if the defense was legit, or if they were taking advantage of a bad offense when they were practicing each other. And I think I've decided the defense is legit.
Oh, yeah. It's legit. And the thing that I like, what I see developing, is all 3 levels of the defense, right? That front, we know what it is with them. Mm-hmm. Talked about Alshire a bit. Now, what's kind of floating under the radar is the fact that Monty Rice was not available yesterday or today.
I don't think Monty Rice is. When we talk, I know that you hate when I do this, but we talk about the varsity team.
The first team, the starters, yeah. Look,
but there's like Molden and Weaver to me are varsity guys, even though they're not, all the time on the first team.
Right, they rotate in with the first group.
But I don't think Rice is where Weaver is.
I think he is, but he's fallen out of that position. I would say that. Because Rice will rotate in just like Weaver does, and they both work, a lot with the second group. However, I think when you look at that linebacker position, Jack Gibbons isn't bad. He's not bad. Now, it's going to be interesting how he'll match up with running backs and tight ends and in the passing game, but we'll see. But my point is, you see that second level, Azeez Alshire is establishing himself as an absolute – he's a player. Good. He's a player. And in the back, Amani Hooker had a couple pass breakups today as well. I think Sean Murphy-Bunting is solid on the left side. Christian Fulton on the right side is really interesting now. They're working a lot. Let me not be specific. Like I think those guys where they are, are working is really good. And obviously you have McCreary working into that group also.
But not one on the left side and one on the right side.
Yeah, they're just working. They're working in where they're working, both sides. But then when you bring in that 3 safety look with Molden on the field as well, it's a pretty solid group. And one of the things I like with Molden, and I said it before, it's like a Logan Ryan like ability to blitz from the nickel, and he actually had a would-be sack today doing that. So I think at all 3 levels they're really good. The second level, just have to see how that plays out. Because you had Chance Campbell, actually. Let me tell you this, and I was standing with Paul Kaharski, and I was explaining to him what had happened. They ran the Vikings offense in the low red zone. They were like 10-yard line. They ran a slant swing combo, right? So they had the running back swing out of the backfield, and the receiver ran a slant. And it was designed specifically to cross Chase Campbell up, right? He didn't take the cheese, passed the slant on to the next defender, darted over to the running back coming out of the backfield, shut the play down. Kirk Cousins wanted that slant so bad because they thought that was – you ever see when the running back is wide open in the end zone and he just catches it and just takes a couple steps?
Yeah.
Those are the type of plays.
So they ran one of those, the offense did today. They ran a rub where both guys went with the slant, and Chris Moore was wide open in the end zone, and Tannehill just pitch and catch.
Nice and easy. Yeah.
I mean, so exactly what you're talking about. The Titans essentially operated. I mean, it wasn't the running back coming out of the backfield,
Right.
but it was basically the same thing
where
they confused the 2 guys and then somebody's wide open. I mean,
Chance is another one that has like that GPS for the football. Like he is one that will go find it.
I think Gibbons is bigger than Campbell.
He's longer. Yeah. Gibbons, that's his advantage over both of them.
But I think Campbell is faster than Gibbons.
Yeah.
And to your point about running backs out of the backfield, like that's where I read Blake Bedingfield, the old Titan scout who writes for Paul's website. I read him on Paul's site, and he talked about how scouting the Bears game, that he is worried about Gibbons' ability to chase after tight ends and running backs out of the backfield.
Yeah.
And so I do wonder, like, should they just give that spot to Gibbons? Or should they make it more competitive? Because while Gibbons is a smart player and he's a good tackler, which Vrabel likes, and he's big and he's physical, I am a little worried that in today's NFL, he's going to get matched up with the teams are going to see him on the field and say, okay, let's match the backup on him and throw the ball to the back.
And you see how much teams are leaning towards getting the tight end involved in the passing game now once again. So that is something that could be an issue, and that could cause him to be a first and second down player, and he comes off the field on third down, And the other thing to look at also is so many teams use that 11 personnel. That's going to force you to your point, Molden on the varsity team. No, he's a starter because there are going to be a lot of games where he starts because they need, or McCreary, because they need that guy that could, match up against the 11 personnel packages.
What did you think when you saw – did they kick today? I didn't see them kick it all today, and people want to know about the kicker. But
I didn't see any kicks, any field goals. I saw some punts, man. Stonehouse was booming.
I don't know how anybody could catch a punt in this wind today.
Yeah.
And I know that it gets windy in Buffalo, and I know the wind blows places and things. I don't know how anybody could catch a punt in today's wind. The way it was. Like, I think people don't understand. It was cold today at practice.
It started to warm up.
Well, the sun popped out.
Yeah, when the sun came out.
And it was never hot today in practice.
No.
And I'm used to – I don't think I've ever been to football because the only other practice I've been to for joint practices is in Tampa. And it's not cold there. It was freaking blazing in Tampa. Remember they had these giant jugs, like these giant just like these huge like drums full of sunscreen, and you would just go up to the drum of sunscreen and just press the thing on the side, and sunscreen would come out. Like, that's what it was in Tampa. Here, I was like, man, I left my Atlanta Braves World Champions sweatshirt at the hotel, and I wish I had brought it with me.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I definitely was wishing I did that too, man.
Do you think that the Titans are in the same spot with their 2 kickers as I am?
I mean, neither team attempted field goals today.
I was talking with a guy who covers the Vikings, and he told me Greg Joseph is as terrible as he was with the Titans.
Oh, okay. So maybe Craig Aukerman deserves another shot.
Well, so they said that he told me, he goes, the special teams coach is the only guy in the world who absolutely loves Greg Joseph, and they're convinced that he is like, blood brothers with Greg Joseph, and that Joseph was on the hot seat last year and came out and drilled a 61-yarder to beat the Giants. And that once he did that, it was like, oh, well, he's definitely going to be the kicker now for at least the rest of the season. But it does sound like Joseph, who was so bad that Floyd saw him in one practice and decided he wanted to cut him, like that he is on thin ice here too.
Okay. Well, that's interesting to hear.
But they didn't kick.
I'm waiting for your apology to Craig Aukerman.
There is no apology.
Okay.
I mean, you saw my look yesterday when you said Phillips dropped the punt.
But I heard you today, because the wind was bad yesterday,
the wind was
too.
bad, yeah.
I heard you today say there's no way you can catch me. Yes.
Well, see, I say that with, like, the caveat of, when it rains outside at practice and the receivers dropped a bunch of passes, it's like, well, I mean, they play in the rain now.
Yeah.
And I know it was windy outside today. Hey, they play in the wind now. You do know that it does. There are wind gusts when they, so I'm not giving Craig Aukerman an apology. I will never give until the special team starts playing better, at which point I will not give an apology. I will take credit for pushing the special teams unit to get better. That's the way I will interpret that.
Okay.
I'm not an Aukerman believer. By the way, the idea of if the special teams unit gets better, if I woke up from a coma, knock on wood, and you were like, hey, the Titans have the best special teams in the NFL. They won the Super Bowl because they blocked a punt and they returned one for a touchdown. I would say that you're lying. Like, I would say that you guys got together and thought, what is the most unbelievable thing that he will not believe? And that is the thing that you would have come up with.
Hey, I get it. The special teams hasn't been good. There's no sugar.
It hasn't been good since you've been here, and you've been here for a long time now.
Yeah, I mean, look, the only punt return for a touchdown I got to see was Darius Jennings, and it was called back.
Was it called back?
Wasn't that called back against the Dolphins?
No, Henry's run down the sideline, Jerome Boger, they came up with a phantom holding call. The Jennings touchdown counted.
Okay.
And got him back in the game.
Yeah, that was the only one I got to see.
Those things are the random things that I remember. 615-737-1025. We'll get to the Tannehill and the Cousins thing, and we'll do that next. Stillman and Company, TD's with us live out at practice here on the program. Join 1025 The Game and Robbie and Rex Road, broadcasting from 6 to 9 for 2 Dunkin' grand openings in Middle Tennessee. Tomorrow, they'll be out at 350 Highway 109 South in Lebanon. And next Monday, they'll be out at 206 Indian Lake Boulevard in Hendersonville. Come on out for coffee, food, and great opportunities to win prizes.
New home. New energy. Same Blue Raiders.
99 yards! Touchdown, Middle Tennessee!
Catch every game for MTSU on 93.3 Classic Hits. Coach Rick Stockstill is poised to lead his team to yet another bowl appearance.
We're really excited about this opportunity.
Your home for the Blue Raiders is 93.3 Classic Hits and the Classic Hits app.
We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any.
Did you know trading in your car at a dealer could cost you money? Research shows consumers who trade in their car pay an average of $990 more. So don't trade in, sell it to We Buy Any Car. Get your free online valuation now at
WeBuyAnyCar.
Research published in the Journal of Industrial Economics December 2015 showed buyers with a trade-in pay an average of $990 more than those who do not trade in their used cars.
Genesis Diamond's most extreme value on diamonds is coming to an end. You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to get the price of a lifetime on a certified GIA diamond ring.
Response has been incredible. People have driven for hours to buy like a dealer buys. All GIA certified diamond rings are on sale. A full 20% discount off Genesis' amazing everyday value price.
We're talking values you never thought possible. From a half carat to 20 carat diamonds. All hand-picked for maximum brilliance and all graded by the most prestigious prestigious gym lab in the world.
Don't be surprised to see jewelry store owners and diamond dealers shopping alongside you.
Genesis has the largest GIA diamond selection you've ever seen. Rounds, ovals, radiance, cushion cuts, pear shapes, emerald cuts, princess cuts.
And now through Sunday, you can take advantage of this rare buying opportunity. Limit one per customer, please.
Get the Genesis no middleman direct importer price minus an extra 20% on all GIA diamond engagement rings. Now through Sunday only at Genesis Diamonds.
Green Hills and Cool Springs.
See store for details.
Don't miss a minute of football action while getting up close and personal to the future stars of the PGA Tour. Join Penn Entertainment on site at the Simmons Bank Open, promoting Penn Play and their sports online betting platform. Stop by their tent in the Arctic Tailgate Village during the tournament to learn more and have a chance to win some prizes and giveaways. Must be 21 or older and in Tennessee. For problem gambling support, call Tennessee Redline 1-800-899-9789.
Oh, Charlie's, that's where you'll find me. That southern flavor got me saying, hey, y'all. Yum, yum, have some fun. Share with the ones you love. Don't you want to roll?
At O'Charlie's, we thought you'd enjoy a little country rock and rolls. The warm, buttery, delicious kind. Served free with every meal. O'Charlie's. Oh, that's good.
Yum, yum, have some fun. Charlie's, born in Nashville, and it shows.
It's time to let your voice be heard. Nashville is headed to a runoff in the mayoral race on Thursday, September 14th. Stand up and be counted. Cromwell Media reminds you to get out and vote for the future of our city.
Lebanon now has a new Dunkin' store, and the game invites you to join us this Friday morning for their grand opening at 350 Highway 109 North in Lebanon. We will be there with great giveaways and free stuff. That's this Friday morning at the new Next Gen Dunkin' in Lebanon.
Want to weigh in on the conversation? It's a brain booster. Slide into our DMs. Or just text or call at 615-737-1025. Our phone line is driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Strong opinions and a strong personality on your drive home. This is Stillman and Company on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A lot of the starters that you guys will get to play in the preseason, but these joint practices tend to be like a good opportunity for you to gear up and get ready. For you, like, how do you approach that? Do you look at it that same way?
It's an opportunity to come out and get better. You know, we're looking at a different defense, different scheme than we see from our team. You know, as you go throughout the season, you see a bunch of different schemes, a bunch of different styles of play from defenses. So to be able to switch things up, see a different style of play, see a different defense is good work for us. You know, a lot to learn from it and build on as we move forward.
That was Tannehill yesterday talking about what to see in joint practices and going against another defense. And I mean, I don't want to throw Tannehill under the bus here because I like Tannehill a lot, but I never find Tannehill really to be the most insightful person out there. I mean, I don't want to, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, TD, but again, I don't think Tannehill goes to that podium looking to open anybody's eyes as much as it is just to get through it and not have everybody think he's a jerk. But he said yesterday that when he was with the Dolphins in 2001, they practiced against the
Carolina,
Panthers,
yeah,
and they dominated them. And then 4 games into the year, they fired Joe Philbin because the Dolphins were terrible, and Carolina was 15-1 and went to the Super Bowl. I talked to Kirk Cousins today about how much after one day of practice do they go back to the drawing board and kind of reassess for the next day, with the tone being that they kind of got dominated by the Titans. Here's what Kirk Cousins said. Kirk, what was the talk yesterday after seeing the Titans defense for the first time, knowing that you're going to go out there against them? Like, what kind of adjustments? Do you make adjustments in a joint practice? What is that like?
Yes and no. I think you watch the film and you talk through it as you do against our defense with Coach Flores. You're making adjustments every day, trying to get better and fine-tune it. So that's always going to happen. I think you're also, in some ways, you're wanting to make life tough because you want to get the work. And so, like, a couple of times, Coach just said to me, hey, what play do you want on third down? And I say, well, do you want to win the play or do you want to get ready for week one? Because there's some plays that I need work at that I may not say are my favorite right now, but I need the work. But if you want to win the play, I'll give you a play I already know and don't really need to practice, and then we can win that play. So it goes back and forth of, hey, is this practice or is this we're trying to win the play or the series or the practice? And you're trying to find that balance, but you're always competing. And I think it was a great first day, and we need to have another one today.
I actually think that's a great answer. The idea of, hey, if you want to give me a play that I know I can run, we can do that. But if you want to give me a play that we need to get better at in practice, give me the play that we need to get better at. I guess the reason why I ask you that, TD, is because I do wonder, can we read too much into joint practices, or, that the goal of the coaches and the goal of the players is not necessarily the end result, which is all that we see, which is the end result in a practice, whereas everybody, I think, is on board that the end result in a game is the only thing that matters.
Yeah, I think, and that's something I asked Mike Vrabel about yesterday, just how do things work out where you go to the opposing coach and say, I need these situations for my offense. I want your defense to look this way. Your defense or your offense can get my defense in this situation, so on and so forth. A lot of practice, and especially when you have a detailed coach like Mike Vrabel, a lot of it is simulated and purposely simulated. Just like today, they took over at the 40-something, 1 minute left, down by 6 points. What's the situation? Last minute, trying to come back for a touchdown. And I think when you look at those situations, then also just the different looks that you want to try to get, there is a part of it that says, okay, yeah, you know that this isn't going to work, but we still got to do it because we want to see how they want to see how that defense looks against this type of play if you go here.
So do you think that when I get all giddy because I think the Titans defense won the day both days, and then I thought the Titans defense and the Titans offense and the Vikings defense were even today, that I feel confident now, okay, this team week 1 at New Orleans is going to have a dominant defense and maybe a good enough offense?
Well, here's the thing. They're not saying, so just because they say, okay, we want you to do this because our defense needs to look at that, defense still has to execute it, right? Roger McCreary still has to make that interception like he did yesterday. You know what I mean? Christian Fulton still has to drift back in the corner of the end zone. Yeah, I'm going to shout Chris out, man. He had to make that one-handed catch. So those are things that still had to happen.
Texter says, do you think that the Titans are hyping up Malik Willis so much that they are looking to use him as a trade piece?
No.
I don't think that Malik Willis has value as a trade commodity because, backup quarterbacks don't go for that much to begin with. And secondly, I think Malik has more value to the Titans than he would on the trade market. I mean, if they were to say, hey, what would you – at best, I think for Malik Willis, you could probably get a 4th or a 5th round pick. Well, I mean, I think the Titans see more than 4th or 5th round pick value for Malik right now.
Well, here's the thing, right? Let's say I think Tannehill might be back next year, by the way. It's a very early prediction, but I think they might bring him back next year. But let's just say Tannehill is done after this year, right? You're just going to have Will Levis take the job. You need somebody who's going to compete with him. And what, are you going to go sign one of these Carson Wentz to come in and compete? No. You're going to have two guys who know the scheme and will continue to push each other.
You don't think that if they didn't have a Willis that they wouldn't just give the job to Levis?
I don't think they would just give it to him.
Oh, I think they would. I think they'd go out and get Blaine Gabbert to sit behind.
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, you like the guy that doesn't need a practice rep, and so you get him because all your practice reps are going to go to the young guy, and so you get the old guy to sit there in the meetings and say, okay, when they show you this coverage, this is what you have to do. But
I still don't think they would just give it to him. I think they would sign a guy, and this is if Willis wasn't there. I think like a Carson Wentz type would be brought in, a guy who has potential to start. You really don't want him to start, but he has the potential, and he could start if need be.
So you mean
let him take the first team reps, and then eventually have Levis beat him out.
So what they did in Washington is they played Howell the last game, Sam Howell, against the Dallas Cowboys the last game. Mm-hmm. And I think he and Levis are very similar. Size, athleticism, arm. Levis probably has a better arm, but I think that those two.
I think Levis is a bigger player, too.
Howell's pretty big.
I think Levis is bigger.
I mean,
I'll
Levis
look
is
it up.
Big. But the point I guess I was making about, Howell was all throughout the offseason, everybody said, okay, are they going to go after Lamar Jackson? Are they going to be interested in a free agent quarterback? And they said no. And then when it came draft time, it was like, okay, they say that they're not interested in these quarterbacks, but if one of them falls, would they be interested? And they said no. And they passed on Levis, and they weren't interested in jumping up. And so they signed Jacoby Brissett.
Mm-hmm.
And when they came to camp, Ron Rivera was like, we like both our quarterbacks, but I don't think that they've given Jacoby Brissett any reps with the first team. I really think they've given Howell the job. And so that might be what they would do with Levis, where they sign a guy who's really, truly a backup. Not even.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But
That's
I'm like, Wentz could have the potential to start. I don't think Brissett. I think that ship is sailed.
Brissett's better than Wentz. Come on.
You think Brissett's better than Wentz?
Yes.
Oh, I think Wentz. I mean, I think Wentz.
You notice one is on the team and the other one isn't?
I know, but that's because Wentz probably wants too much money. I mean, it's hard to go from making $32 million a year to making $4 million.
Hey.
Though I've never made $32 million a year, so I'm not one to be able to talk about what it's like to make $32 million a year. I don't know. You wrote the book on Carson Wentz.
I did. I wrote the book on the good Carson Wentz, but I think Brissett is a better player than Wentz right now.
Ian, who do you think is a better player? I'm bringing you in. You got to pick. You got to choose a side, Ian.
Okay.
Wentz or Brissett? You have to have a quarterback to win a game on a Sunday. Wentz or Brissett?
I'll take beef brisket.
Really?
I think so.
Brissett?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Brissett's not going to make that throw that you're like,
he might not kill you.
What the heck
Yeah.
are you thinking? And by the way, Sam Howell's 6'1", 220. Will Levis is 6'4", 229.
Sam Howell's 6'1"?
Yeah.
Really?
I get tricked by that too sometimes.
It doesn't look 6'1".
Yeah.
I mean, then again, I went to Vandy football practice, and their starting quarterback, A.J. Swan's listed at 6'3". He may not be 6 foot.
Really?
Yeah.
They have the tall one, right?
They've got Walter Young,
Yeah.
who is like the Anthony Richardson of Vanderbilt. Like, he is huge and athletic and has a freaking bazooka for an arm. And it would not surprise me. Walter Taylor, that's his name. It would not surprise me if Walter Taylor becomes like a dude. I mean, I went to Vandy practice. I watched this Walter Taylor. I was like, this guy.
Yeah, you sent me a text.
I was like,
oh.
He's the man.
Oh, no, that was a different one. I thought it said, because there's another Walter Taylor that said he's from Norfolk, Virginia. I was about to say, oh, yeah, that dude's a freak athlete.
If he's from
I don't know
Norfolk?
what's in the water there in Norfolk, Hampton, in that area, but, like, that's where AI is from, Ronald Curry.
Oh, the Newport News?
Yeah, they're all, like, crazy.
I saw a documentary that they said that, like, that Newport News area of Norfolk or whatever is, like, of all the places in the country that are, quote-unquote, like, hard, that might be, like, the hardest.
Really?
I mean, I wouldn't know how to judge that.
Yeah, they said Little Rock, Arkansas is a rough spot.
Really?
Yeah, they said, man, Little Rock, they said that's a rough spot.
Why Little Rock?
A lot of gangbanging.
Why?
I just never been there, don't plan on it, but I bet you they got some really good food in that area.
In Little Rock, Arkansas?
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Any hood, you get the best food, man. That's when I first came here. I remember. I didn't move here from the hood. I didn't live in the hood anymore once before I moved here. But when I bought my own house, et cetera, et cetera. But I remember getting, and I know it's off topic, but I remember I ordered. It used to be the hood special, man. 5 wings with fried rice, and I ordered that out here, and I got it. I'm just like, what is this? And I remember I posted on Twitter. I said, I will never buy Chinese food. I will never buy wings and fried rice again unless it comes from a place that has a bulletproof glass that separates me and the server.
We had one of those places in Louisville called Indy's, and they had had bulletproof glass, and that chicken at Indy's was the best chicken I think I probably had in my entire life.
I'll try to tell you.
615-737-1025. We'll get back into your phones. We'll do that next. Stillman and Company. We'll recap practice. Again, a lot of you guys have asked questions about what happened at practice. We'll do that. TD's with us. Stillman and Company here on the program. And I'm sure that there's probably a lot of people want to weigh in on this one, too. Hey, we're your racing station, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We're your home for NASCAR. Tune in this Sunday for the Go Bowling at the Glen at 3 p.m. NASCAR on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game is presented by O'Charlie's.
All the big plays.
Rebound, try out in front, and Saros covers it up.
All the big stories.
Andrew Burnett reportedly hired as the next head coach of the Predators.
All in one place. We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3.
Checkered flag is in the air.
Comparing goalies to running backs.
46-27 Vanderbilt.
Does this group of players need more?
The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hang on. It's going to be a wild ride. The PBR team's champions, the Nashville Stampede, are coming home in a run to defend their title.
Yeah, we coming.
Stampede Days, August 18th through 20th at Bridgestone Arena. Heart-pounding action you don't want to miss. Tickets start at $20. Get yours today at PBR.com or Ticketmaster.com.
Yeah, we coming.
Join us for the ride.
The team at Mercedes-Benz of Music City have done it again. Here's Edwin Vickery to explain.
4-time recipient of Best of the Best. Less than 10% of the dealers in the country receive this award. How did you do it? We say culture, eat strategy for lunch, because we can strategize all we want, but unless you have the right culture and chemistry in the dealership, it will not work.
Live the dream at Mercedes-Benz of Music City, mbofmc.com.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can do it now in less than a week. Hey, Willie Donick here. That's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. You don't even have to touch your primary mortgage. You can keep that 3% rate intact. Get just the money you need and pay off all those credit cards or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
At Fisher Investments, our clients know we have their backs.
How do your clients know that?
Because Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, the highest standard for a financial advisor. It means we're there for our clients and always put their interests first.
So wait, you do it because you have to?
No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. Our clients trust us with their retirement savings, and we know how important that responsibility is. So we take the time to really get to know them.
Get to know them how?
We make sure we understand their unique goals, finances, health, family, and lifestyle so we can tailor their portfolio to their specific needs. Our goal is to help them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Sounds like a big responsibility. You must make big commissions then, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We have one single transparent fee that's structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Are you always on the go? We've got you covered. Download the Game Nashville app from your app store and listen to us wherever you are.
Robbie Stanley.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, it's Max Kellerman, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
You're going to watch the film, but just first impression, what was the things you liked that you saw the last 2 days? What was the things that...
Well, today I thought that there was an energy level. I think that we came out. I thought we tried to celebrate the plays that we had in the red zone offensively, which is important. I mean, it's tough to score in this league, and we've tried to really do a good job in the red zone. We got to get down there more. I've said that quite often, but I think that there was some cool execution. I felt like we didn't dwell on negative plays. If they had a good play, and again we lined back up and tried to play again. I thought we were better on third down today than we were yesterday, which is really encouraging.
There you go. That was Vrabel talking about practice today and saying, yeah, we had some cool execution down there in the red zone. I mean, it's like I feel TD like Vrabel can't just say like, yeah, I thought we played great. I thought, I thought the defense dominated again. Like he cannot for the life of him. He won't say that.
No.
And I get it, right? Like he doesn't want to say it, and I get that he doesn't want to say it. But it's like, dude, just say it. Like it's okay. That's what people want to know is how did you like practice? What did you think of it? So I'll ask you this question. What were some of the things you liked from practice?
I love the pressure that they were able to get with that front. I think they did a really good job there. I like how active they were in the secondary. There's an energy with that defense that you just feel. Didn't watch enough of the offense to really give a gauge on that. Every once in a while I peeked over, and Will Levis just continues to be outstanding in red zone. There's just something about when he gets in that area that just he elevates. Mm-hmm. But the thing I like most about is Christian Fulton. And I think when you look at Christian Fulton, there's no better time than now to be playing his best because obviously it's a contract year. But it's just really good when you see a guy deal with injuries, be able to put together a streak of being out there practicing and doing what he does. And it's not just going against DeAndre Hopkins anymore, Treylon Burks. You're going against one of the best receivers in the league, and you held your own outside of that catch that he had to set up the KJ Osborne touchdown. And for him to, in the midst of talking about having a good day, to bring that up, like, I shouldn't have gave that up in the that's the kind of sign that gives you, like, you look at Kobe, and I'm not comparing Christian Fulton to Kobe. I'm just comparing situations. You look at Kobe, you look at Jordan, you look at Derrick Henry. Man, you had a great day today. What was going on? Well, I did have that fumble. Oh, well, you know what? I missed that one shot with 3 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, that's how those guys are.
Oh, no.
He did the same
We
thing.
talked about this earlier, I think, off the air. The guys that are more worried about failing than they are about succeeding.
Yeah.
And with the thing about Fulton, not only do I think this is a great time for Fulton to get out there and have a good year, but with the big boys up front playing the way that they played each of the last 2 days and every single day against their own offensive line in practice, I mean, Fulton's going to have opportunities this year. Yeah. The way those big boys are up there playing and getting to the quarterback and pushing the quarterback around. I was thinking about watching the offense, the things that I like today. The number one thing that sticks out to me, DeAndre Hopkins had a play on an incompletion that I can see it, and I'm not sure I can completely describe it as well as I should. But it was, I think, first and goal from the 20-yard line when they were doing red zone stuff at the beginning before they went to the low red zone. Mm-hmm. And so he ends up running, I think maybe it was a post in the end zone. I can't remember what it was. But he ends up in the back of the end zone. And Tannehill just throws the ball there, like just puts it in the vicinity there. And there was a Viking DB under DeAndre and above DeAndre. And I thought that Tannehill had basically hung it up like a punt for it to be intercepted. And all of a sudden, DeAndre is there in between the two guys. And it looked like he was trying to make the catch, but it was almost like DeAndre did a great job of making sure that no matter what happened, they didn't catch it. And I think that that's really important because if Tannehill trusts that, hey, I can put it up there, and DeAndre might not catch it, but DeAndre's going to make sure that they don't catch it, or he might catch it, then that gives me more faith that I can just put it up there for DeAndre. And, again, the worst thing that happens is an incomplete pass, and the best thing is a touchdown. Yeah. And I thought DeAndre had a great touchdown grab on the other side of the field, and it's like I said this on XM like maybe 4 days after practice started. I said, for everybody out there that whose team was rumored for DeAndre, but their team obviously didn't really make a move to go get a DeAndre Hopkins, the question lingered of, like, is he still DeAndre? And I'm convinced that he's still DeAndre
Still him,
Hopkins.
huh?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. And it's just he just has a way understanding positioning. And it's like you know what it reminds me of? Here it is perfectly. It's like Dennis Rodman, right?
Sure.
Remember when Dennis Rodman was saying, okay, well,
hey, the ball go right here.
Yeah, and he was like,
the way magic
over there,
the ball,
yeah,
click bump over here.
Just understanding the positioning. That's I think Hopkins to a T, because like Hopkins, Rodman the biggest guy, wasn't the quickest. He had a pogo stick built into him. He could jump over and over again, but it just that tenacity and just ability to position yourself always to be able to get the ball. That's what Hopkins brings.
The one thing, though, I'll say about Rodman, not to get off topic on Rodman, but I think Rodman is one of the most talented basketball players ever who just couldn't shoot.
Yeah, he just couldn't shoot.
He just couldn't shoot.
All he wanted to do was rebound and play defense.
But
his daughter, Trinity, is one of 14 new players in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, he could run the floor. He could pass. He wasn't very tall, and he couldn't shoot.
I just remember he used to get the rebound and throw it out to Isaiah, and you see him high kneeing it up. That used to be funny. Then he'll get the tip. Most of his points were on tips. But, to get back to Hopkins, that's something that's really interesting. And you have to have that trust in him to be able to allow him to play the way he does, right? Because he has that freedom to freelance with his routes. Where it's like, I don't know what route this dude is doing, but I know he's going to be in this area, so I'm going to throw it to that area, and he's going to go get it.
Texter asked the question about the kickers. A couple of people have texted in about the kickers. They didn't kick today. Guys, I'm not – don't worry about these two kickers. I am just telling you, these two kickers are not going to be kicking for the Titans week 1 at New Orleans. I am convinced of it. That the Titans are just not – they're not even entertaining it anymore. Like, I see Trey Wolf walking around here at practice, and I almost want to be like, so, is that construction job still open or no?
I mean –
By the way, if he becomes the next Adam Vinatieri, that cut will be used in a documentary.
Yeah, it sure will. Hey, you may have made your way, man. But, no, I get what you're saying. I just wonder just at what point will they make that move if that's what they're going to do.
I wonder if there's a kicker that they like somewhere else that they think is going to get cut. I mean, like, I like Justin Tucker too, but they're not going to be able to get him. But that there's a kicker that they like that is in a battle, and maybe there's a couple of kickers they like, and that they assume that one of those 4 kickers that they like will be cut, and when one of those 4 kickers is cut, then they'll just go pick them up. But I don't think kicker. Punt returner, I think that's a real thing to talk about. Kicker, I don't think so. Did Minnesota punt today?
I don't think they – yeah, I don't think 14 was punting today.
So he punted yesterday? So we don't know if –
yes, he did punt yesterday. It was with the wind, but he was punting 90-yard punts.
Somebody told me yesterday, or maybe today, that they think the Vikings have the best punter in the NFL.
Yeah, but context – that's why I always say context is so important. He was punting yesterday. The wind, you know how the wind was blowing.
Well, I don't think it was about yesterday's punting. I think they were just saying, like, that they think that Ryan Wright is the best punter in the NFL. I mean, I wouldn't know. Somebody also told me, so what they did was this is like 120 acres that we're on, and that this practice facility is on 40 acres itself. Which I'm sure a lot of people are thinking 40 acres for a practice facility. If you were here and you could see what we're looking at right now, like you would get it. But if you see the facility that's right in front of us where the Vikings practice, I don't know about you, but when I walked out of the gate yesterday and was facing the facility, I'm like, this thing is freaking huge.
Yeah.
So apparently it's because once they start, once it gets cold here, they go inside every day because they play their games in the dome. And
so they could do that.
They built it so big so that they can punt and kick like if it were the dome.
Intriguing.
Now, the fact that this all only cost $90 million, when it's like, then why is our stadium going to cost $2 billion? I mean, $90 million for all of this? I mean,
there's a lot more to
a stadium.
Yeah, come on.
Let's get back to your phones next. 615-737-1025 live from the joint practices. TD's with us, Stillman and Company, 102.5-106.3 The Game.
Nashville Sounds baseball lives on 94.9 The Fan. Catch every pitch.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Every hit.
That's a base hit.
Every run.
Looking up, it's gone.
On your home for Sounds baseball. 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
It's time to celebrate this fall and unleash the beast.
Monster Brewing proudly presents to you Beast Unleashed. 0 caffeine, 0 sugar, all the adult beverage fun. The Beast is unleashed with great taste, bold familiar flavors, and 6% alcohol. Go wild with Mean Green, White Haze, Peach Perfect, and Scary Berries. Don't fear the Beast. Enjoy Beast Unleashed at your next tailgate or football party. Drink responsibly. Must be 21 and over.
33 hours of savings this Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Electronic Express. These deals are so hot they only last 33 hours. Get a TCL 55-inch 4K TV only $269, or an Avanti laundry pair just $379 each. Save up to 50% on 4K TVs, computers, Bluetooth speakers, appliances, and more. Don't miss out on an Avanti top freezer refrigerator only $499, or a Lenovo laptop for only $349. 33 hours of savings this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Genesis Diamond's most extreme value on diamonds is coming to an end. You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to get the price of a lifetime on a certified GIA diamond ring.
Response has been incredible. People have driven for hours to buy like a dealer buys. All GIA certified diamond rings are on sale. A full 20% discount off Genesis' amazing everyday value price.
We're talking values you never thought possible. From a half carat to 20 carat diamonds, all hand-picked for maximum brilliance and all graded by the most prestigious gem lab in the world.
Don't be surprised to see jewelry store owners and diamond dealers shopping alongside you.
Genesis has the largest GIA diamond selection you've ever seen. Rounds, ovals, radiance, cushion cuts, pear shapes, emerald cuts, princess cuts.
And now through Sunday, you can take advantage of this rare buying opportunity. Limit one per customer, please.
Get the Genesis no middleman direct importer price minus an extra 20% on all GIA diamond engagement rings. Now through Sunday only at Genesis Diamonds.
Green Hills and Cool Springs.
See store for details.
Men, this is Evan Bass for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. If you're suffering with erectile dysfunction or other sexual health issues, you need to know that there is no one-size-fits-all treatment because everyone's made differently. That's why our urologists and medical providers offer a broader array of treatment options and can even combine or adjust treatments for greater effectiveness. ED can result from aging, low testosterone, prostate issues, underlying medical conditions, and more. And understanding why you have ED is the first step in treating the condition. That's why you need to know your numbers and understand what other factors might be contributing, and then work with an expert to treat it. And that's where we shine. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we have protocols that are effective in nearly 90% of cases, which means we'll likely find the right treatment for you and you can get your sex life back. So call us. Your first appointment includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. We have 2 offices to serve you, Midtown and Franklin.
Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra, results vary.
They combine hard-hitting journalism.
The Titans asked Kevin Byard to take a pay cut.
Strong-willed opinions.
There's hot takes and then there's like weird takes. Yeah. This is a weird take.
And sometimes some old man takes.
I'm excited about it. So do I gyrate embarrassingly?
To create the perfect morning show, they are Robbie and Rex Road. Mornings from 6 to 9. Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. You're listening to Stillman and Company on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Has it looked like Will has gotten a lot of opportunity out here with like just kind of situations being that number 3 guy? How difficult is it to...
Well, he got the same amount of reps as Malik up until the 2-minute. I did 2-minute over here yesterday. So while Malik was going, Will did that, and the plans were to have him go today, but they took him in, and we'll see where he's at for the game on Saturday.
Just to be clear, you said they took Will in?
They did, or he would have had the same opportunity that Malik had. So that was the plan.
If Will isn't able to go Saturday, is Ryan maybe going to get some work, or will it be Malik the whole way?
We'll let you guys know on Saturday.
There you go. That was Vrabel. Again, this mysterious Will Levis injury that I didn't see today at practice. Now, I left with about, 10 minutes in practice probably when I left? Came up here to do the radio show.
Yeah, because you missed most of red zone, right? Or not red zone, but 1 minute period, 2 minute period.
I saw Tannehill complete the ball to Okonkwo that I think they should have blown dead for a sack.
Okay.
But Land Clark didn't blow it dead for a sack, so I guess it was a touchdown to Okonkwo. So I didn't see that Levis didn't go out there for the 2 minute. I assume that Levis would because Willis went yesterday, but apparently Willis went in the 2 minute. And then Vrabel said the reason why was because Levis was hurt. Now you figured out that it's a lower body injury. What do we know about Levis, and is it irresponsible? And this is, again, the same guy who yesterday asked Chris Sanders if he thought it was a torn ACL for Traylon Burks after watching a Twitter video, which is not irresponsible on Chris's part, which is irresponsible on me for asking him. But do you think that it's irresponsible for me to assume that it's not a big deal?
No, it's not irresponsible to assume that. And that was Paul Kaharski that, had that first. I want to make that clear. It's not irresponsible to assume it, but I wouldn't rule out it being a injury of significance. So it's just one of those things where, just like with Traylon Burks, they're hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst. And in the preparation for the worst, it's, hey, Malik, guess what? You might have to play the whole game.
I actually don't think that that's bad.
No.
If that's, it's bad because Levis does need the work. And so, I think this is a real competition. I think I'm the only person who covers a team who thinks that Levis is ahead of Willis right now.
Probably.
But I do this is a battle and they should be going up against each other, and competition sometimes brings out the best in everybody. Mm-hmm. And, let's see who the best man is to back up Tannehill. But, again, if something were to, let's say Willis is the backup quarterback and something happens to Tannehill, well, then the expectation is Willis is going to play the whole game. So it would not be bad for Willis to get out there and play the whole game on Saturday just for his development. Now, it doesn't help with Levis, but somebody texted in earlier today, and our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHunter.com, and said that should we be concerned because of the injury to the toe that Will Levis had last season at Kentucky? I think that was a turf toe injury that he had.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think that that's something that's necessarily reoccurring, but, that's a good point. He suffered one last year. So, yeah, I don't think – all right, how can I put it? It's something you consider, but not something you dwell on. That's probably the best way to put it.
So the last play that Levis ran, they were doing third down work. Did the defense do the same thing where it was every play was third down? So it was third down work, 11 on 11, and Levis threw one incomplete, which I put good throw, and it was a contested catch that was not made by Trayshawn Harrison. Then he completed one in the middle to Kevin Rader, and I put that was a tight throw, and then he got sacked on third down, but not sacked, just touch sacked. He got touch sacked, and there was a flag that was thrown for holding on the Titans. I don't know who. I just saw the referee just go, holding that way.
That Raider one, was that going that way?
Yes.
Was that the one where he caught it and took off, ran from everybody? Yeah, I was surprised how well he accelerated, man.
I thought it was Wiley at first.
Yeah,
because I'm not used to seeing Raider run like that.
Yeah, he had his get somewhere shoes on, man.
Maybe Raider has his I got to make the team shoes.
That's what I'm talking about.
And because have we seen Trevon Wesco here?
Wow.
There's a lot of guys, by the way. Here's what's crazy. It's hard enough to keep up with the football team when it's just the football team. But when it's another team, it's like there are guys I'm like, oh, yeah. Like I wasn't watching defense, but I did not know that T.R. Tart got thrown out of practice. I just saw him on the bike with the strength coach. And I saw that there was a little something on the other field, but I didn't.
Yeah, you saw Garrett Bradbury.
But I just saw T.R. Tart on the bike, and I just figured that he was out today, and maybe he had a bad hammy or a headache or a toothache or something like that, and so he was out. And then I heard Vrabel talking about we don't throw punches, and I was like, he got kicked out.
Yeah, he got up and swung on Garrett Bradbury, and it was funny because they were tussling to the ground, and T.R. Tart got up and shoved him, and I'm sitting there watching like, T, don't do it. There it goes. It was just like he had to swing on him, man. He had to do it, and yeah, he was kicked out.
You know what was crazy, though, was I was overhearing, watching let's say watching instead of overhearing. He and the strength coach, Frank, he was not pushing T.R. Tart on that bike. Now that I know that he got kicked out of practice, I should have gone over there and said, hey, no more talking. Get on the bike and give me 45 seconds, go. He didn't Vrabel didn't kick him out and send him to the bike to sit there and chat. This is not social hour.
You joining the staff, man?
Well, I mean, somebody's got to keep an eye on these things. That's why I told somebody today. I said, what is a blessing and a curse is that I'm not with the team. I'm not paid by the team. I don't stay in the team hotel. I don't fly on the team planes. And quite frankly, I'm not really interested in doing those things at this point in my life. I'm not. But everybody else over there that's wearing a Titans logo on their shirt, they can only think, man, I don't think he's good, or I'd rather have him on the team instead of him. And their opinions are probably a little bit more informed than mine because they know what kind of guys these people are, and they're around them on a daily basis, and they get to see the real practice and the film and everything else. But they're not really allowed to say it, right? Like, no disrespect to Jim Wyatt, but he's not allowed to write in his mailbag, I think Tannehill sucks. He can't write that.
Right.
So I get the freedom of getting to say those things. So, everybody else, then no one's going to tell the strength coach that he needs to get Tier Tart's ass on that bike. And I will be the one to say, hey, get his butt on that bike. If he got kicked out of practice, which I didn't even know he got kicked out of practice because I was watching the other field.
Yeah.
Well, although I told you this yesterday that Danico Autry stood up Alexander Madison in the backfield and that I thought there was going to be a fight because what happens in these things is a guy gets popped in the backfield and he's really more embarrassed that he got popped in the backfield than he is that he got popped, but he takes exception to the pop because he's mad that he feels like he got embarrassed by getting stood up in the backfield, and so he throws a shove, and then the other guy gets mad that he shoved him, so he shoves him back, and now everybody's involved, and I thought we were headed to that yesterday.
Yeah, and what ends up happening is even if like that particular time, they didn't like how Simmons thumped the running back.
There it is.
You know what I mean? And then coincidentally, Simmons was the subject of a lot of talk throughout the rest of the period. You know what I mean? And at one point, they pulled him out of practice and they put Peavy and Jaleel Johnson in, and those guys got pressure and stuff in the backfield as well.
Let me say that I don't know Jeffrey Simmons that well. I know you do.
Mm-hmm.
I like Jeffrey Simmons. I think Jeffrey Simmons, again, I wouldn't say that we're like buds or anything like that, but I've had some chats with Jeffrey just about other stuff, and Jeffrey is a cool dude. This dude, when it comes to playing football, he is one of the biggest yappers.
Joe, he talks. I asked him about that. He said he's been like that way all his life, and it's never going to change.
He is always last year when he and Leonard Fournette got in that fight in training camp, and then the Jamarco Jones fight this year at training camp, and then Tier Tart gets thrown out of practice because of something that started with Jeffrey Simmons. And even in the Mahomes documentary, they show a play where Autry sacks him, and Simmons gets up in Mahomes' face and yells "sacked," and it's like, dude, really?
He's a goon, man. He gets
really?
on the field, he's a goon. That's really what it boils down to.
Have you seen his new truck, by the way?
Jeff's?
Yes.
He has two. What one are you talking about?
The big Jeff truck?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Okay. So, you know how, we're not really supposed to, it's people's business talking about people's cars, right? But when you get Big Jeff put on your car, I feel like you want people to know that it's your car.
That is yours, yeah.
He has this giant, jacked up Titan blue pickup truck.
Okay.
And where the Ford logo is in the middle, there's a JS logo. The seats have JS logos
He's
in
bad
the
as
heads.
Shaq with that Superman in the,
on the side of the car in red trim, Big Jeff. Then on the hubcaps, they have the JS logo, and there are spikes around the JS logo, like something that Bowser and Mario Kart would have.
I'm about to ask you what's up with that truck.
Dude, I saw it. I was like, yo, I want to drive this Jeffrey Simmons truck.
I got to ask her what's up with that truck.
All right, we're getting too crazy. 615-737-1025 is the phone number, 615-737-1025. I do want to get back. The big question I have, my big takeaway from the practices with the Vikings, the 2 days, it's got me giddy, it's got me excited, it's got me thinking the Titans might be back. And I wonder if TD's going to make me rein it in. We'll get to that next. Stillman and Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
every Wednesday at 8:30. Call. Join Robbie and Rex Road for The Choice is Yours.
2 sports questions, 2 non-sports questions.
They'll answer a couple of questions about life and sports. The Choice is Yours is built by Jarrett Companies. You have a choice. So when you have a need for site and utility work, fire protection, concrete and asphalt services, the choice is simple. It's Jarrett Companies. For more, visit JarrettCompaniesInc.com. The choice is yours. Wednesdays at 8:30 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey folks, Joe Rexo here. I want you to know Twin Peaks is the place for your fantasy football draft party. Their draft party package gives league commissioners and its members an elevated, easy experience along with scenic views. At Twin Peaks, your draft party package includes a draft board, player stickers, a $50 bonus commissioner card, a $5 bonus card per league member, and a premium table reservation with Wi-Fi. Get to Twin Peaks this year for your fantasy football draft party. Locations in Madison and Cool Springs.
Trust your pets with Cottle Vet Clinic in East Nashville in the heart of Inglewood for compassionate care and your fur baby's optimal health. From vaccinations to health checkups with on-site pharmacy, teeth cleaning, grooming, and state-of-the-art surgical procedures, trust Cottle Vet, now offering boarding. Visit CottleVetClinic.com to learn more. We know you love your pet. And at Cottle Vet Clinic, pets are family.
Hi, I'm Chase McCabe with your PBR Minute. Professional bull riders Nashville Stampede Days are finally here in Nashville. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Bridgestone Arena. You can still get your tickets, PBR.com, Ticketmaster.com, or at the Bridgestone Arena box office. And head coach Justin McBride knows it's going to be an exciting time.
They can expect some action. I mean, it's going to be bordering on the line of out of control at times. And you're going to see guys that are giving everything they got to represent their team. That's really what I'm so excited about is when you take something, a combat sport like bull riding, and you put that many people in one place cheering for a group of guys, those guys can find something more. You know, they can find things that they didn't even know they had within themselves to get the job done.
Get your tickets at PBR.com or Ticketmaster.com right now.
Your Game Center update.
The Tennessee Titans were back on the field in Minnesota for day 2 of joint practices versus the Vikings. Head coach Mike Vrabel spoke after practice today about how much he thinks the team got accomplished during the 2 days.
I think we came out, we got good third down work, we got good red zone work, good situational work. Really like the pace in which they practice and they move. I thought it moved along. We got a lot of reps in there, so a lot to teach from.
Titans rookie quarterback Will Levis did leave today's practice early with an injury, and Vrabel said his status for Saturday's preseason game is unknown at this time. As we pretty much expected, the Houston Texans named rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud the starter for their second preseason game. Lions wide receiver Jameson Williams will likely miss the rest of the preseason with a hamstring injury. And it's Throwback Thursday at First Horizon Park tonight as the Nashville Sounds host Charlotte, the AAA affiliate of the Chicago White Sox. First pitch is set for 6:35 on your home of the Sounds, 94.9 The Fan. From the Game Nashville studios, this is Ian Safar.
Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators. 102.5 and 106.3.
79-52 Vanderbilt. And I think he's going to coach up by Cheryl.
You're going to see more moves. The Game. We have strong opinions.
What a whiny freaking crybaby response.
This is Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live, thanks to Superbook Sports, live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios at TCO Stadium here in Minnesota. The Titans and Vikings have got 2 days of joint practices in the books. Let me just quickly, TD, hit the big news. Mike Vrabel today saying best case scenario for Treylon Burks. made it sound like not only does he not expect Treylon Burks to miss the season, which, of course, we learned yesterday that he wouldn't be missing the season, but it sounds like he expects Treylon Burks to be back rather soon.
I don't know about rather soon.
But New Orleans?
I would say that, yeah, because he said, like you said, best case scenario, but he also said that, he'll just rehab. He's not going to put a timeline on it, but it's not long term. And that's a very, very encouraging thing for Titans fans to hear.
Okay, then Elijah Molden left practice today with a mysterious injury, and Will Levis left practice today with a mysterious injury.
Yeah. The
Again,
Molden thing, I don't.
They're both mysteries.
I didn't check on the Molden thing. I'll check on that. But yeah, the Levis one, the furthest that or most doubt in was that it's lower body. So who knows what it is? Maybe now that the caller had texted in about being concerned about the toe, maybe I could reword to reach out to a couple people and reword it from that. It's not the same or dealing with that, is it? And maybe that'll get us more information.
Speaking of sources, I talked to Diana Rossini today. Ian, I don't think I've told you this today, that I chatted with Diana Rossini today at practice.
No, I don't think I've heard that.
Did you tell her you have a whole plug from the
desk of Mike Vrabel? So I talked to Diana. I told her, Diana wants to come on the show. I said that we'll have Diana on the show at some point here. But I told Diana, I was like, every time you talk, she's told me that every time that we talk about her on the show, like her Twitter or whatever blows up. And I said, well, that's because we think that you get all your info from Vrabel. And so when you say something about the Titans, it means that it's probably coming from Vrabel. And so that's how we look at it.
Right. Yeah.
And she was like, well, why don't you have me on your show? And I was like, because the 1 minute of what you say is really the crux of, like, whatever the tea is that you have, that's what we want to know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. And you're right. I tell you, I'm really happy for her, though.
Let me say this. I like Diana Rossini. She seems real cool.
Yeah. But, I mean, like I said, I'm really happy for her, what she was able to do, just as far as make the move. I hate for her to be leaving ESPN, but, from talking to her, it's an opportunity that's really good for her and that works. But, yeah, she definitely has that direct tie to Mike Vrabel. But if you watched her today, it's pretty clear that she's well connected throughout.
Sure.
Because I saw her talking to everybody.
And let me say this. She would not confirm nor deny that was her source.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't going to, and they're not going to reveal where the source is or whatever.
Right.
But that Diana said that she wants to come on the show, and it'll probably be more of us accusing of her of having Vrabel as a source.
You got to make it good so she comes back. You want to make sure she comes back.
I'm a Diana fan.
Yeah, so that
besides,
being said,
she got the team.
show.
All right, so here's the thing from joint practices that I came here wanting to see. Was the Titan defense elite? I had watched them every day for the most part dominate the first-string Titans offense, and it's every time, every practice, it doesn't matter what team it is or even what level, that when you're playing yourself, at the end of the day, you have to make the judgment of, is it that one half of my team is really good, or is it that the other half of my team is really bad? And I didn't know the answer. And because Vrabel doesn't play starters anymore in the preseason, we weren't going to get the answer that way by watching the Chicago game or anything like that. This, to me, was the best measuring stick until week 1 at New Orleans, because even next week against the Patriots, Mac Jones and that offense, to me, is not the same as Kirk Cousins, Kevin O'Connell, and Justin Jefferson.
Right. No, exactly.
I walk out of here thinking that the Titans defense won both days and won them clearly in both days. And so I think the Titans have an elite defense. Now, the offense, I'm just convinced that with Burks not being injured long-term, Hopkins looking like Hopkins, Henry and Tannehill, that they can be average. And all I need is average, because if I'm getting elite from the defense and I'm getting average from the offense with those four guys, with Tannehill, Henry, and Hopkins, which are known commodities, that I think Titans going to win a lot of games with this defense.
It's very conceivable, 10 to 11 games. It's very conceivable. And here's the thing. They average 17 points a game. If they could just improve that by 3 points, this team is so much better. So, also, you have to look at if they can manage to be a fraction better in the second half and fourth quarter. How many times have we seen this team go into halftime with a lead?
Well, I actually think that that's bigger on the Downing front than it is anything else. For the people like me that are holding out hope that the change, that even if Tim Kelly's not a great coordinator, the fact that, he should be better than Downing. Like me and D. Mace got in this argument after the Colts game last year and the Raiders game last year, where the Titans were up like 24-3 in both of those games. And then at halftime, the other team came storming back, and the Titans had to hold on for dear life. And Derek kept saying that, well, this roster's not good enough. And I was like, there's no such thing as a first-half roster. It's not like Mel Kiper Jr. is breaking down players saying, he's a good first-half player, but he's a bad second-half player. We never see that.
I think what he's saying is the ability to sustain it over a full – everybody that you see at this level – is talented. That's why, you'll never hear me say a guy sucks or everybody at this level is talented. So it's just a matter of what degree of excellence can you reach and how long can you sustain it. And there are some times where a team will have a good first half and not have a good second half, or vice versa. It's just I think that's what Derek was talking about, the roster, where there's not enough players to sustain and go through a full game at the level it takes to maintain a 24-3 lead and turn that into an even bigger one.
35-13 win.
Whatever, yeah.
But see, that's where I blame Todd Downing for that. And so if Tim Kelly is just average and not just, up from Downing, then I think that'll be good. But if the defense is elite, to your point, they can just score. The offense can score 3 more points a game, and they can protect Tannehill a little bit more. I think the Titans are right back to where they were, for the better part of the last 4 years, which is in the same discussion with Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincinnati, and Baltimore. And I say that because, at 7-3, what were we talking about? Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincinnati. What did we talk about the year before that? Kansas City, Cincinnati, Buffalo. What did we talk about the year before that? When they were in the playoffs.
I think right now,
with this defense,
Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati, they're here.
But you don't think that the defense that you saw today can neutralize those quarterbacks to a point?
I've seen them neutralize each of them. So they could do it. And there's just something about Mike Vrabel and Shane Bowen against Mahomes and Andy Reid. It just works for them defensively. They almost won with Malik Willis at where he was last year. So you're right. But I just think if you look overall just in the race, if you look at those 3 teams are there, and then you have the Ravens, the Titans, I think the Chargers are there, the Jaguars. They're all – there's too many questions with the Jets. It looks good now on paper, and they added Dalvin Cook as well. Oh yeah, it looks good. Come together and let me see it before I put you in the upper echelon.
So you would put the Jets in the same group with the Titans and the Chargers and the Ravens and the.
I wouldn't put them there now.
Really?
No, I don't put them there now because I got to see it first.
I could see the Jets going either way. I could see the Jets being 12-5 and ending up in the AFC Championship game, or I could see them being 5-12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas I can't see the Titans being 5-12.
No.
Especially this defense. I think this defense is going to be great this season. The one thing that bothers me is that there's almost no depth. So that if any one of these players gets hurt, and we know that players are going to get hurt over the course of a season, then I don't know if they'll be able to maintain a lead. Right, Azeez Al-Shaair gets hurt. And nobody thinks of Azeez Al-Shaair as an elite NFL player. Though I do think he's a very underrated NFL player because all he does is make plays in practice. But if Azeez Al-Shaair gets hurt, I don't think they can be elite. If one of the 3 corners gets hurt, I don't think they can be elite. If one of the 2 safeties gets hurt. Every spot that guy would go down, it's not like Kenny Vaccaro gets hurt and Amani Hooker can go into that spot. Mm-hmm. They don't have those players on this team this year.
Yeah.
Right now, if one of the corners gets hurt, Trey Avery's going in the game.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to Trey.
He's solid where he is.
Right. Which is
rotation.
The bench.
I mean, he gets some time. But to your, I mean, look,
when they stuck him out there on Stephon Diggs last year, that's where he does not need to be.
Yeah, that was a tough situation, that inverted cover two, and Diggs ran a beautiful route. That route was beautiful.
So are you buying the hype that that this defense is elite? And
I think the defense should be top 10 at the least.
Are you worried? Are you worried about Derek Carr with this defense?
I don't think any of the quarterbacks on the schedule are anything to be worried about with this defense. Yeah, that's the one.
I mean, you could take the Pro Bowl team. I'd still be worried about it.
That's the one. That's the one. So, yeah, okay, that one. But, I mean, other than that, look, Trevor Lawrence I know that's, they're getting ready to fit that yellow jacket for him like they did with Justin Herbert last year.
Well, those are your people at ESPN that are fitting him for a yellow jacket.
that TV team, man, But I don't think there's any reason to be concerned about any of the teams outside of Cincinnati that they play offensively. I think they match up well with and the thing, if they could figure out a way to get that pass rush back to where it was, not last year but the year before, I think that does wonders for the defense, especially the secondary.
I think
they're there now because Arden Key, Landry back, Danico Autry, Jeffrey Simmons healthy.
Weaver, Tart.
And Tart's not as much as a pass rusher. Weaver is,
but he takes snaps away from the other guys so that they can stay fresh.
Yeah.
And on a 3rd and long situation, Tart comes out of the game, and in goes one of those guys.
Right, and Peavy too. Peavy's going to be in the rotation.
I think Peavy is.
Yeah. He's going to be in the rotation.
He's not a varsity player yet, but he's close.
Yeah, I want to see more out of Caleb Murphy. I'm not saying difference maker, but a guy that gives you depth. I want to see more out. He had a sack against the Bears, I want to say. Yeah.
I think the Titans defense can be top 5 in the NFL. And I had a hard time before these joint practices thinking that was a possibility because Vrabel has never had an elite defense in the 6 years he's been the coach here. And they have by NFL standards, one elite player on defense, and that's Simmons. Now, I think that Autry –
Byers elite?
I don't think they consider him like that. For instance, the Jeremy Fowler list, the composite list of all the NFL people, they ranked him as the 7th best safety, and that's good. And Byard is – Byard is
for him.
Good. But, would I rank him ahead of, say, Derwin James or – some of these other safeties?
Justin Simmons. Mega Fitzpatrick. Dude. I knew Simmons was going to be good. I remember seeing him at the East-West Shrine. I'm like, yeah, this dude's legit.
I guess, I think Autry and Byard are in the category of, really, really, really good and really underappreciated, but not, elite, which is where I feel like Simmons and Derrick Henry lie.
Okay.
Of, the best of the best in the league. And so can a team have an elite defense with one guy?
Yeah, you absolutely can. Because as a unit, they play really well.
And now that I agree with. And so, but I didn't, I was really struggling with that before we got here. But then I saw the last 2 days of the defense, and now I think it is a legitimate possibility. I would have liked if T.J. Hawkinson had been available for the Vikings.
Yeah, that's literally what I was about to say.
Because we do know that Justin Jefferson's really good, and we know that Alexander Madison's a good back, and their line is solid. They have a lot of draft picks up there. But so I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. 615-737-1025. We'll get your phone, 615-737-1025, plus what Kirk Cousins said about the Titans defense. Play that sound for you, and we'll do it next. TD's with us, Stillman and Company, live from joint practices. Twice daily. I absolutely love Twice Daily. That's right. I got one in my neighborhood, and I am at Twice Daily all the time. I would say twice daily, but sometimes it's 3 times daily. Sometimes it's 1 time daily, but for the most part, it probably is twice daily. That's how much I like it. Hey, download the Twice Daily app today and join their loyalty program to unlock special discounts, savings, and so much more. It pays to be a member with Twice Daily. You'll earn points and save money with every visit. Get what you crave at Twice Daily. Made to order sandwiches, bakery, breakfast, lunch and dinner, fresh items made to go, hot drink, cold drinks. Stop by the beer cave and unwind with a cold one. If you're looking for convenience, Twice Daily has you covered. And buy any hot dog piled high with your choice of toppings, a bag of Frito-Lay chips, and your choice of a 20-ounce Coke or Pepsi product for only $5 with the app. That offer ends August 28th. Twice daily, fresh, all day.
Here we go, in and out of the huddle.
Training camp is underway in the Music City.
We want to try to make sure that we're developing a team.
And we have you covered.
Could Peter Skoronsky be an option at tackle?
How quickly can DeAndre Hopkins get going? We'll be broadcasting live from training camp with the latest news and storylines from practice.
Ryan Tannehill in the last year of a contract.
It's a different team. It's a different roster.
Training camp coverage is brought to you by the Simmons Bank Open, Caudill Vet Clinic, and Parman Energy on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
What's up, everybody? This is Teron Davenport. Football season is right around the corner, and now's the time to place your preseason bets with Superbook Sports. Superbook is the most trusted name in Vegas, and now you can use promo code TDInsider to score up to $250 with their first bet bonus. Win or lose, they will match your first bet up to $250 with promo code TDInsider. Will Tennessee win the division this year? Who's your pick for MVP? And which team will win it all in February? Don't sit on the sidelines. Win money this season with Superbook Sports. Simply download the Superbook Tennessee app or visit superbook.com to place your wager today. Football, a $250 first bet bonus, and the TD Insider promo code will make you do your own touchdown dance this season with Superbook Sports. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Parman Energy is your one-stop petroleum solution across all of Tennessee, offering turnkey petroleum solutions for professionals in major industries, serving trucking fleets, construction companies, industrial plants, and more. Whether a large corporation or owner-operator, Parman Energy has your diesel Tennessee petroleum solution, providing totally outrageous customer service.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankism of Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Want to see our smiling faces? You can watch us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
We are good to go.
Presented by Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Strong opinions and a strong personality on your drive home. This is Stillman and Company on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
What are your initial impressions of the Titans defense, Jack?
They did a great job. You know, they were #1 against the run last year for a reason, and I thought they did a nice job in man coverage. So I thought it was a tough test for us and great work for us.
There you go. That was Cousins talking about the Titans defense, saying they were #1 against the run last year for a reason. And I think that is him talking about their defensive line and saying yes. And he said they did well in man coverage. So I think that's all a good sign. I think the defense can be elite. I promised phones. Do you have a thought or do you want to go to the phones?
To the phones.
Phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Ryan says, do you think Vrabel will play the starter some in the preseason? The Titans have come out sluggish the last 2 seasons, and they need to hit the ground running.
I think the offensive line starters will play again, but that's about it as far as the starting offense. Defense, probably none of them.
I mean, I don't want the starting defense to play. You want the Nico Autry to – what does the Nico Autry have to prove to any of us in a preseason game? And so, like, I use McCreary as an example. Could McCreary use the extra reps? Maybe. But is it worth getting McCreary hurt? Whereas with the offensive line, like, does Andre Dillard need the extra reps? And I think the answer is yes. I think he
needs the extra.
Right. Well, if one of those guys is going to go out there, you might as well play all 5 guys, because if you don't play all 5 guys, then you're not doing them any favors.
Right.
And that chemistry. And so, I mean, I the Burks thing has got me to the point where Tannehill, Henry, Hopkins, Burks, Okonkwo, see you New Orleans. Everybody else, offensive line, you play, defense, see you New Orleans. That's where I feel like I am, and I feel like that's where Vrabel is. And they have the 2 practices next week against the Patriots. But for some reason, I'm not as excited about those as I was about these 2 against the Vikings.
There's not as many premier players, but Matthew Judon will be a good test for the offensive line. And there's another guy. I always have my guys that pop up. Josh Uche.
He was one of your guys.
Yeah, he had a good year last year.
Texter said, how did the offensive line look in joint practices?
So I'll talk about yesterday. There were some pressures. Daniil Hunter is definitely giving them everything that they want off the edge. He got some pressures. I like what the interior guys have been able to do. Skoronski looked good in one-on-ones. Aaron Brewer, handling, because they have a guy out of Stanford, number 97. I forget his name, but he's a big player. And he was trying to bull rush Aaron Brewer, and it wasn't working. 97 is Harrison Phillips. He's 6'3", 307 pounds.
I met him at the Super Bowl. Good guy.
Did you?
I
Nice.
think he won there was this contest for the longest drive at this event, and I think he won. As in hitting the golf ball the furthest.
Yeah, he's a big dude. I could see him winning that. So that was good. I think overall they've been solid. Now, I was watching in between reps today, and I would peek over, and it's like every time I peeked over, man, there was pressure. I know the play had to be whistled dead a couple times with Willis. Tannehill had the one where he, whatever happened to, he got hobbled. Will Levis had a couple. He constantly had to roll out away from the pressure too.
So the first team offensive line today, I thought, had their moments where they held the pocket and their moments where they didn't. And I think that for the Titans' sake, this season, they're never going to dominate a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, can they hold the pocket long enough for the offense to move the football some? And I thought that they actually did a pretty good job running the ball with Derrick Henry, getting some push. Dillard on 2 separate plays. One, Daniil Hunter went right around him and sacked Tannehill on a 3rd down. And another, he bull rushed on a 3rd down and goal at the 5. He sacked Tannehill by basically bull rushing Andre Dillard into Tannehill. So I guess I'm having a hard time with the Andre Dillard thing because Daniil Hunter is a really good player in the NFL, and Andre Dillard is not. Like, Andre Dillard is a NFL player, but he's not an elite player, which Daniil Hunter is.
Right.
But then, how much is that going to matter when it's Myles Garrett out there, week 3 against the Cleveland Browns, who's also an elite player? And, they are paying Andre Dillard $10 million to do something. But then again, Myles Garrett makes $20 million because Myles Garrett is one of the best of the best. Mm-hmm. And so it's like asking an average corner to cover Justin Jefferson. And I just don't know how they work around that.
You have to scheme. And, it's all about getting the ball out quick, getting guys a chance to catch it and make plays. That's the biggest thing, the most important thing. And for the Titans, that's where Tajay Spears comes in. Right, you get him the ball out of the backfield. You get Hopkins the ball quickly. You get Burks the ball quickly. You take advantage of those opportunities. You get Okonkwo the ball quickly and let him, because he's quietly a very good yards after catch option as well. So you have to change things up. Those long developing routes that you like to do, you don't. And then also play action and roll the quarterback away from Myles Garrett. But now, Zadarius Smith is on the other side, and he's no slouch either.
Texter into the text line says, what do you guys think about the wide receiver position, and are you worried about the depth with Burks' injury? Westbrook-Akina took that spot today. The one thing that I did notice was that, and I don't know if it would be this way in a game, because Tannehill is consistently get the ball to the open guy. I don't care if your name is A.J. Brown or Rashard Davis. He'll throw the ball. But I do think that if they were in a game, maybe he would target Hopkins more if Burks isn't out there because, I'm throwing the ball at DeAndre Hopkins. I did feel like the reps that I would have expected the ball to go to Burks kind of went to everybody. So Josh Wiley caught some passes today. Mm-hmm. Kyle Phillips caught some passes today. They got Kyle Phillips playing on the outside some. which I'm a little surprised by. I mean, the guy's taking videos out in the stands. I mean, who gives a rat's ass what I say? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, he is taking videos.
So, like, maybe I felt like they put Westbrook-Akina in the Burks spot. And then Tannehill had one where there was a snap where it was down at his foot, and Tannehill picked the ball up and just threw a jump ball up in the air, and Westbrook-Akina went up and made the catch.
Oh, yeah? Did he? Nice.
That was the one that the guy tweeted out and said that he didn't have the video for.
Ah, okay. Okay, got you. Well, I know in that 1 minute part, he drew a PI and he made a catch before that. So he's taking advantage of the opportunity. I don't get really concerned with the depth there because it goes back to how long. You know what I mean? If it's a long-term injury, okay, yeah, there's something. But if it's something like a week or two, it goes back to the scheme. You got to scheme guys open. And I think that's something that Tim Kelly is doing. You look at a lot of the stuff that they're working on.
Well, I'm just going to tell you that the way I felt yesterday, before we had the news that Burks was going to be healthy, I felt like packing up all my stuff and just going home because it's like, all right, when's hockey season? Because if Burks isn't out there, the idea of them competing at the time, I still think there's a chance. Like every year, there are the surprise teams, right? Like Cincinnati 2 years ago. Nobody expected Cincinnati to be in the Super Bowl. And so every year there's a team that people think is going to be really, really good, like the Packers last year, that don't make the playoffs, the Rams last year, the Broncos. And then every year there's a team that nobody thinks about who, like Jacksonville, ends up in the divisional round of the playoffs. And I think the Titans can be one of those teams.
Why not?
Right now, my kind of teams that I'm putting a star by that could be those teams, the Eagles. There were question marks this time last year on TV about, is Jalen Hurts a starting quarterback?
Which were nonsense.
Well, word on the street was Howie Roseman was trying to get Russell Wilson, and Russell didn't want to go there.
I did hear that. He didn't want to go there because of Jalen. Yeah, I did hear that.
I mean, and now Jalen Hurts is making $50 million a year, so last laughs with him. But, Pittsburgh is a team that I've starred as one of those teams that I think could be a surprise team this year. I think Pickett is a bad dude and is playing like it. And they got Pickens at receiver, who I think might be I don't want to say the next A.J. Brown, but I think he could be A.J. Brown-esque, in that regard. So, I mean, I guess I'm trying to figure out why the Titans can't be that team.
I can't figure out why they can't. I think they very well can be that team.
But if Burks isn't there, then they're not.
I still think they compete with Jacksonville without Burks. But the fact of the matter is, it's not long term. So
Dre says, how's Harold Landry look?
Yeah, good point. So Landry, one of the things that's so underrated about Landry is how well he plays the run. And there were a couple times where I saw him literally grab the offensive lineman, move him to the side and slice inside and go make the tackle. Landry looks fine. He doesn't have the brace on his knee. You see him bending really well coming off the edge. I don't think there's any issue. I'm not going to put him up for 12 sacks again, but I don't think there's as much of an issue. He's recovered a lot better than I thought he would have.
More your phone, 615-737-1025, plus an observation that I made before practice today. The morning show, they do the called the shots thing.
Oh, yeah.
There was an observation I made this morning before practice. I was surprised by it myself. We'll get to that next. And, of course, your phone, Stillman & Company, 615-737-1025. TD with us at joint practices. And let me tell all the fine folks out there about our friends at MTSU, because our friends at MTSU have something super going on this weekend. Be sure to join them this Sunday for Fan Day. Come on out to see the football, volleyball, and track and field teams as the fall season is weeks away. You can get autographs and enjoy the live music along with inflatables, face painting, and balloon artists for the kids. And the fun will be at Floyd Stadium from 3 to 5 on Sunday. You do not want to miss it. And also, golf is coming to Nashville September 14th through the 17th with the Simmons Bank Open at the Grove Club. Text the keyword driver now to 615-737-1025 and enter to win a weekend pass for 4 to enjoy the event in style, including food and drink.
Every day we are live and local.
It will help them get better players. I'm really excited about this defensive front.
And your source for Nashville sports.
They had missed the playoffs.
Those players may end up being practice squad guys.
We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
In St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida, fun in the sun goes way beyond the white sand beaches. Let's rock out at a waterfront concert at the Sound. Let's marvel at masterpieces of the Chihuly collection and make some flippered friends at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. Let's pedal the 75-mile Pinellas Trail and stop at Florida's oldest microbrewery along the way. This fall, let's go for all the sun and none of the crowds. Let's shine. Plan your getaway at visitstpeteclearwater.com.
Catch Sounds baseball at First Horizon Park tonight at 6:35 as the Nashville Sounds take on the White Sox affiliate, and we celebrate Throwback Thursday. The team will wear our classic 1978 uniforms, and you can enjoy $2 and $4 drink specials all night. Get tickets at NashvilleSounds.com.
Hey everybody, Joe Rexroad here to tell you about PhD Weight Loss. Went into the program with the goal of losing 38 pounds. Hit that goal. I feel great. Loving the food items they provide. No pills involved in there. No gimmicks, no other suppressants, no cravings. It feels good, and I'm in the maintenance situation now, and that's the thing about this. It's sustainable, okay? This program is a plateau-busting program. If you try to lose weight before, you know about the plateau. You kind of stall out, eventually quit, move on to something else. PhD Weight Loss, we're talking constant care. We're talking customized program designed for you, tweaked for you. I have a coach, Rachel. I talk with her every week, and she got me through to the 38 pounds, and now I'm in maintenance, and I'm going to keep it off and maybe lose a little bit more, but you can add a little bit more food to the plate, and this has been very, very easy, very fun. And there's a guarantee. If you don't get within 5 pounds of your target weight at the end of your program, PhD will continue to coach you for free until you do. Join me now. You won't regret it. Visit myphdweightloss.com.
Hey, it's John Tesh. You know why insurance companies use all those cute and funny characters? To distract you from realizing you're only getting one option. If you want to compare prices, you're forced to visit multiple websites just to get one quote at a time. But not with Zander Insurance, because they work for you. Zander is a broker that shops dozens of top companies to find the best competitive rates for the coverage you need, and they keep reviewing your policy every year to make sure you're getting the best value. They're always available to answer questions, handle problems, and make sure that when it comes to insurance, your life is simple and hassle-free. You even have direct access to their senior management team. If your current company or agent doesn't do this much for you, let Zander Insurance help. Compare rates online at Zander.com or call 800-356-1780 for that personal touch. When Zander works for you, you're going to see the difference. Again, that's 800-356-1780, or you can visit Zander.com with no characters needed.
We are Nashville's best sports talk, live and local from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. When you want the national
Hey. I got this. I'll take it from here.
Okay, go ahead. Dying to hear this.
We have the best national voices that you'll find anywhere.
Who was more deserving of being thrown from their game?
I'm odd, so I get the odd picks.
They have a new coaching staff.
It's not a bad scenario for them.
We are 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
And 94.9 The Fan.
Hey, Nashville, it's Mike Greenberg, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Kurt, what was the talk yesterday after seeing the Titans defense for the first time, knowing that you're going to go out there against them? Like, what kind of adjustments? Do you make adjustments in a joint practice? What is that like?
Yes and no. I think you watch the film and you talk through it as you do against our defense with Coach Flores. You're making adjustments every day, trying to get better and fine-tune it. So that's always going to happen. I think you're also, in some ways, you're wanting to make life tough because you want to get the work. And so, like, a couple of times, Coach just said to me, hey, what play do you want on third down? And I say, well, do you want to win the play or do you want to get ready for week one? Because there's some plays that I need work at that I may not say are my favorite right now, but I need the work. But if you want to win the play, I'll give you a play I already know and don't really need to practice, and then we can win that play. So it goes back and forth of, hey, is this practice or is this we're trying to win the play or the series or the practice? And you're trying to find that balance, but you're always competing, and I think it was a great first day, and we need to have another one today.
That was Kirk Cousins before practice today. I have a bold prediction to make, TD. So today was my first Kirk Cousins press conference.
Okay.
I've never been there. I don't think I've ever been to a game that Kirk Cousins is quarterback now that I think about it. I don't think he was the quarterback here. I don't think they ever came here when he was with Washington. And I don't think they ever came to Nashville when he was been with the Vikings. I know the Titans came up here a couple years ago. Tannehill almost picked six the game, and they almost lost. And Gostkowski hit like a 52-yarder to win the game. And so I don't think I've ever been in the same building as Kirk Cousins until today, or I guess yesterday. But I went to his press conference today, and I was wowed. I took my phone while he was talking, and Gentry Estes from the Tennessean was with me, and I put in my phone just so Gentry could see it while Cousins was talking. I said, this guy is going to do TV when his career is over, and he is going to do it for a long time. And I saw the Netflix documentary, which I think is a fascinating show, Quarterback. And if TD didn't have me sit between the two most chatty Cathys in the world on the flight here, I would have finished the
I thought that since they were chatting and there was a middle seat, I figured, okay, she'll move over to the middle and you can have the aisle.
It was a good play call. Just, the defense had it snuffed out.
The defense ran a different coverage, man.
But,
rode the coverage.
but I was going to finish the quarterback documentary on the way here. But a lot of people watch it and they were like, oh, wow, I just loved Cousins after that. I don't have that feeling. I mean, I have respect for Cousins after it. But I don't, I'm not going crazy about it. But his press conference today, the way he explained things and he seems so down to earth. And I'm like, that is a guy that you put on TV. Mm-hmm. Now, he doesn't have he's not going to win Super Bowls. So he's not going to have that. And he doesn't play for the Cowboys. And so he doesn't have that. But I believe that Kirk Cousins, the day he's done, stick him in a booth, and he will be better than 95% of the analysts that do this game. I think one press conference, and I am convinced that Cousins will be. And when I sat down, the Viking people were joking that, Cousins, he's going to say taking it one day at a time. And so I figured that I was going to get the same kind of press conference like I do with the Tannehill press conference. Tannehill, I think he tries to make that more boring than it needs to be sometimes. Cousins was I thought he was very open without being revealing.
You could be explanatory and not dive into the details of what's going on. No, definitely, to your point, you could do that. I think that he just has a good way of just capturing the audience. I've won the Eagles and then Redskins played when I was covering the Eagles. I remember – a couple of his press conferences. And even just watching him in the documentary, you could tell that he has a way of endearing himself to people. And that's why, people in this building here, Kirk Cousins is, I don't care what you say, this guy is he's a legit quarterback, and that's our guy.
Although that is how the people with the Titans talk about Tannehill.
Yeah.
But Tannehill's press conference is not like Cousins.
No. They're definitely not.
I really was sitting there with the Cousins press conference. Just the way he was explaining, why certain plays work or they don't, or what they're trying to accomplish by doing something that they're doing, or how somebody is coming along, or how he feels about where the offense is. And, these felt like very thoughtful answers. And what was crazy was at the beginning of it, and again, I've never covered Kirk Cousins before. I've never been around Kirk Cousins. So when he got to the podium, he was texting somebody, and he hadn't finished texting. So he was doing one of those things where, his head was buried in his phone texting. And I don't know if you've ever been around somebody like this, but I've been around people where, I'm waiting to talk to somebody, and it's like, hold on, my phone is more important than you. I got to send this text out. Okay, what was that? And, it's kind of disrespectful. And so when I saw Cousins go to the podium, and he was on his phone, texting, and it was like, oh, hold on, wait up, everybody, I'm texting. Okay, now I'm ready. I was like, oh, this guy, he might just be a major,
Yeah, but
and then when he was talking,
on the other end of that text message.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
But then the way he did the press conference, I was like, wow, this guy, he is smart, and he is thoughtful, and he is. I stick him on TV. Joe Rexrow just texted me and said, covering Cousins and Draymond Green for the same 4 straight years was pure heaven as a writer.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I mean, God, stick Cousins on TV the second he's done. I mean, Tony Romo, he was the talk of broadcasting when he got into it, and he's fallen off a cliff. I mean, I don't find Phil Simms, not that he does the games anymore, but he's on the panel. I like Phil Simms, and I like Phil Simms on the radio, but I'm not sure I really like Phil Simms doing the games. Aikman, I think, is kind of generic, but he's better than bad.
I like Greg Olson.
I'm not an Olsen fan.
I like Greg Olson.
I'm not an Olsen fan. I am anti-Olsen. I am ready for Brady, even though I think Brady will be terrible at this. I am ready to kick Olsen out of the booth and put Brady in.
Well, we'll see.
But I just wanted to put that out there that I was just wowed by Kirk Cousins. Texter asks, how valuable is it for a defense to have two edge guys like Landry and Key that play the run like they do? And it also feels like they're both high motor guys, giving max effort on a consistent basis.
Yeah, it's important to have guys that could pass rush. And what did it say? You earn the right to rush the quarterback, and they do that, especially Landry. Landry is one of the best edge guys against the run, one of the best in the league. I firmly believe that. I'll have to look up the win rates and the run stuff rates and those things, but I know those numbers from not last year but the year before back it up. Arden Key, to me, is just the energy that he brings. But the thing also is the versatility. So when you look at those guys and how much they're able to do, it is really important. But you just got to make sure that those guys don't get too deep running the edge. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like you look at Levis's play, there was a play where Levis needed to step up in the pocket. Jalen Duncan got rushed, and it was a wide rush, and Duncan did what he had to do, just wash him down. Levis got to step up in the pocket. So those guys have to be careful that they're not rushing too deep to where they could be run out of a play.
What's crazy is I don't really worry about that because I just assume that Simmons and Tart and those guys will just push everybody back.
That's why you got Autry on the inside too, and that's why you give
and that's
pay Simmons the way.
So here's something that I was thinking about too about having both Landry and Key, is that there's going to be a lot of times where they're not on the field together because Autry's going to have to be on the field, and then on running plays, Tart's going to be on the field. And so that'll allow them. I mean, I do think that one thing that the Titans really made a mistake of a couple years ago was when they played Simmons and Harold Landry on every single
snap.
play.
He played 98%, 97%.
I mean, those guys had terrible 2020 seasons because they never came off the field. And I thought that was crazy. 615-737-1025. Maybe, arguably, the biggest sports star in Nashville history will make an appearance on Saturday. Arguably. We'll dive into that. Stillman & Company. TD's with us. 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Play ball! 94.9 The Fan is your home for Hit City.
Tonight, your Nashville Sounds continue their 6-game series at First Horizon Park against Charlotte. He gloves, grabs, guns, gets them, and the Sounds win again. Pre-game at 6:20.
Nashville Sounds baseball on 94.9 The Fan and the Fan app.
Over the years, more men have started to seek help for hormonal deficiencies and imbalances. And Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and wife Daphne, along with their experienced staff, give men the treatment required to improve your quality of life, improve your immune system, energy level, cognitive function, and more. There's no better time to achieve a healthy lifestyle. What are you waiting for? Give Cool Springs MD a call today for an appointment at 615-486-3458 or visit our website at coolspringsmd.com.
33 hours of savings this Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Electronic Express. These deals are so hot they only last 33 hours. Get a TCL 55-inch 4K TV only $269, or an Avanti laundry pair just $379 each. Save up to 50% on 4K TVs, computers, Bluetooth speakers, appliances, and more. Don't miss out on an Avanti top freezer refrigerator only $499, or a Lenovo laptop for only $349. 33 hours of savings this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Hey, it's Jared from my official sportsbook app, the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Football season is quickly approaching, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to win all season long. Because right now, when you bet on a Super Bowl winner, you can get a bonus bet every time they win in the regular season. That's right. Just pick any team to win the Super Bowl, and you'll get bonus bets for every victory. You can use your bonus bets on spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/JGM and start earning bonus bets with America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/JGM. Hard for me to say go against the Chiefs right now, just because let's not kid ourselves about the luck that Kansas City has had based off of their coach and quarterback. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager, only $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Max bonus $50 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Genesis Diamond's most extreme value on diamonds is coming to an end. You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to get the price of a lifetime on a certified GIA diamond ring.
Response has been incredible. People have driven for hours to buy like a dealer buys. All GIA certified diamond rings are on sale. A full 20% discount off Genesis' amazing everyday value price.
We're talking values you never thought possible. From a half carat to 20 carat diamonds, all hand-picked for maximum brilliance and all graded by the most prestigious gem lab in the world.
Don't be surprised to see jewelry store owners and diamond dealers shopping alongside you.
Genesis has the largest GIA diamond selection you've ever seen. Rounds, ovals, radiance, cushion cuts, pear shapes, emerald cuts, princess cuts.
And now through Sunday, you can take advantage of this rare buying opportunity. Limit one per customer, please.
Get the Genesis no middleman direct importer price minus an extra 20% on all GIA diamond engagement rings. Now through Sunday only at Genesis Diamonds.
Green Hills and Cool Springs.
See store for details.
Nashville's radio version of The Odd Couple.
You would trade for the third pick? Yeah, I don't know that I would do that.
Robbie Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robbie and Rexrode.
I'm here for the discussion. I'm not. It's a good one.
It's absurd. Robbie and Rexrode. Mornings from 6 to 9.
Win the games. When they get in the playoff, they'll have a chance to.
Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. You're listening to Stillman and Company on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company, the biggest sports star since Michael Jordan to come to Nashville. And I will say that Leo Messi is a better, bigger star than Tom Brady. As much as I love Tom Brady. But, I mean, football is kind of unique to America. Although it is big, and I don't know if you've ever been to London for a London game, but I mean, all the people that come throughout Europe to the London games and all the jerseys they
Brady
wear.
went to Tokyo to expand the game too.
I think he went to China. He threw a ball over the wall.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Brady's a global star, but I don't think he's Lionel Messi. So Messi comes to Nashville. The tickets are absolutely ridiculous on the secondary market.
Ridiculous.
Now, 2 thoughts here. Number 1. Ian, you're a soccer guy. Are you going to the game on Saturday?
I am not, no.
Why are you not going to the game?
What?
Well, I'm not a season ticket holder, so I don't really get priority for the seats or tickets. I can't really afford to spend that much money on the other
$700 ticket to the soccer game?
Like, as much as I would like to do that, I can't go that far, and I have not tried to put in a credential or anything, so I probably won't go, no.
Okay, I am putting out the call, the bat sign. Who wants to take Ian to the game on Saturday?
Wow.
Now, I'm not going to go to the game on Saturday because I'm going to bull riding Saturday night. But
bull riding?
Well, it's a group event.
The Titans play on Saturday.
I know. I got a DVR. It's a preseason game. They ain't gonna play any players anyways. It didn't matter. I mean, did they win? They lose? I don't even know if they lost. I think they lost last week, but I can't even remember. But I'm sure somebody's got an extra ticket and can take Ian to the game. Can I just say my biggest beef with all of this, though?
What is that?
First of all, I think this is a humongous game for Nashville SC. To win a championship that would, get them into the, the top of the continent, basically, in terms of the Americas or whatever it is that they would, the CONCACAF, top 16, whatever. I think that's great for a team that's 4 years old. What drives me crazy, though, is the game is not on TV.
Yeah, that's inexcusable.
For the greatest star in arguably Nashville sports history, I still think Michael Jordan at his peak was a bigger global star than Messi, but debatable. But for that game not to be accessible to the greater public in a situation like this, and I know that Miami paid all that money to get Messi, and this is part of the deal, right? Is so you want to watch Messi? Now you got to buy the pay-per-view through Apple. You got to buy the TV package. I get it. But I almost feel like Nashville SC, just for their own local fan base, should go to the MLS and Apple and say, hey, what will it cost for us to be able to give our game on Saturday to a local TV station to run the game so that fans in Nashville can watch it? What would that take? Because like my dad is not going to watch this game. Now, I think you could convince him to watch this game if it were on TV and he was flipping through and, okay, I'll watch this game. And like, I know my dad's old. Old people still matter now, like in terms of fan bases and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, I know that people are like, oh, no, we care about the young audience. But no, like the old audience still matters.
Yeah, it's viewers.
I mean, so that's the thing that drives me crazy about this is, you know, for something like this, like if they make the MLS Cup, that's the championship, right?
That is correct.
You got to buy it to stream it on TV?
I don't know if they'll have any of the playoffs on regular, like FS1 or Fox or ESPN. Not that I'm aware of yet. I haven't heard, but maybe.
Like this monumental moment, I think that they should go out of their way to put it on TV, unless they just are going to say, you know what, we're like boxing. It's a pay-per-view. You know, you want to watch the fight? Buy the fight. But that's what it feels like. And I just, again, I wish Nashville SC, and this is not their fault. A lot of the things I get mad at them about, I get mad at their fault, like their parking situation.
Catching strays. Oh, that parking situation is ridiculous.
I know.
I remember going to that first game, I had to park on the racetrack.
That's my point.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right. So
and it's a long walk. Like, it's a super long walk.
It's terrible.
And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, how it was set up.
But, like, I looked at the tickets the other day, and it was like the get-in price for this is like $600, and then the next game's like $21.
I'll complain about that.
Right.
I'll complain about that.
Yes. And so, like, normally I get mad at Nashville SC for the things that Nashville SC does themselves. It's not their fault. The league wanted to go this way. I'm sure they get paid a bunch of money by Apple.
Mm-hmm.
But for this big of a game that's in such demand, don't you want people to watch this game?
I would imagine, because that's going to grow the game. And now you get more fans, and now you get more ticket sales, and more jersey sales, and more concessions, and boom, boom, boom.
Now, I hear Ian getting us out with the music, but I would say this. You know my theory behind the Peacock playoff game for the NFL? Nobody should buy Peacock until that game, because I think the Titans are going to win the AFC South, and I think the Titans are going to be in that game, and then it'll be on the local TV station here. Because think about it. If the Titans make the playoffs, unless they play Kansas City, it's going to be on Peacock.
Yeah, that's true.
TD, good to see you.
Oh, yeah, good to be seen, man.
That's
Great couple days.
That's it for us from Vikings camp. TD will be staying here. He'll have a full report from the game. I will be back in town, Stillman and Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com.